Yeah. There we go. Hi everyone. Hiya, how are you doing? No, fishing themed live stream chat again. I don't have to pick my daughter up from school until 3 o'clock. The GoPro battery tends to last about an hour. I'm on my first cast and you're welcome to join me. I'm fishing. I'll show you with a very simple setup. Little feeder, size 10 hook, worm on the hook with the ends and about a longer tail, so 2-foot tail. And I cast in 10 minutes ago and I've not had a bite yet. So you've got to be in it to win it, don't you? So let's see how we get on. So it beats sitting indoors. So I haven't a clue what I'm going to catch today. This particular swim, this river, well, normally I've never fished this swim before, and it's the nearest swim to my house. Normally I fish downstream of the bridge or about 500 yards upstream on a little beach, but I just thought I'd give it because this is actually the nearest swim to my house. I've never ever fished it and I loved it. Probably 18 years now, just that way. And it's crazy that I've not fished this swim, so I thought I'd give it a go. In the past I've had chub, I've had roach, dace, grayling, perch, bream, lots of brown trout, but there are 2 species of fish that live in this section of river that I've never ever caught. Never caught a barbel, even though I helped stock them. So we stocked nearly 1,000 barbel in this river about 5 years ago. I've never caught one. And there are plenty of carp as well, believe it or not. A couple of years ago I saw a shoal of carp with probably around 50 fish in it, pushing well into double figures, some of them. So these are natural wild river carp, so it'll be brilliant. I mean, it's unlikely in February that I'll catch one of those, but it's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Well, I've had my first cast. It's been in 10 minutes. So hopefully I'm not snagged up. Let's just see what it all looks like. Oh, and I'm not snagged up, which is always good news. Oh, look at that, disgusting. First cast, I catch a lady's sanitary item. Anyway, you can see that, that's the rig. There's the worm. It's probably 3 foot this hook length. Might possibly be a bit too long, but not to worry. And we'll load up the feeder with some liquidised bread. There it goes in, and a few cookies. There we go. And then just a simple lob out, and away we go. So I reckon it's probably about 5 feet deep there, which is good enough for this time of the year. There we go. Tighten up a tiny bit. Put the bait runner on. Catch a big fish here. It's just going to go screaming off. We'll see how we get on. You wonder why I've got 2 cokes on. Can you see? That's one. I've got the. I do enjoy my fishing any time of the year. It's lovely, isn't it? Oh. So, I've ever fished this particular peg, it'll be interesting to see how much background noise, because that's quite a main road over that bridge. I couldn't tell you the name of whatever it is. It's Agecroft Road. It's got an A number. I don't know what the A number is, but quite a lot of heavy traffic goes up and down. So it'll be interesting to know how much road noise the camera picks up from there. In the medium to distant future, I'm going to buy myself a lapel microphone. Hopefully it'll be background. It'll be easy to pick up my voice. So, it's a lovely bridge. I don't know when it was built, but it carries water from the Lake District to Manchester. It's I think the Haweswater or Thirlmere Aqueduct. It goes along there. So it's actually a double bridge. It's a road bridge, but it's a patch at the same time. And lovely wartime thing that sort of like was made. Style, they don't make that anymore, do they? But I've no bites so far. Just a bit of sanitary wear on my first cast, which is typical for the Irwell. It's got more combined flows than any other river in Britain, which is sad. Oh, I can see the moon up there. I can see a plane flying across the moon. It's 20 past 1 my time. I'm going to fish until the battery runs out. So if you're watching and you can, join me in the chat and we can have a natty. You can tell me where you go fishing. I guess the battery's going to run out in about an hour, which will take me to 2:30ish. I can't see myself fishing much beyond 2:30 because I've got to pick my daughter up from school. I mean, it's only 5 minutes up the hill, but I want to get out my fishing kit before I go and see parade myself in front of all the yummy mummies in the yard who obviously pay no attention to an old fart like me. But on a day like this, it's just nice to be out, and a bite's a bonus, especially when you're fishing a new swim. The Irwell doesn't have a huge biomass of fish because the water quality is not the cleanest. But what you do tend to find is instead of catching large numbers of small fish, you catch small numbers of really big fish. So for a catch near £1 Same with the pike and perch, they're always a decent size, because what you get is the genetic survivors, the ones that can survive the pollution. And I think bigger fish tend to survive the pollution a lot better than small fry. But one thing you do get here, which is great in the summer, it's absolutely smashed out with minnows. And fishing a live minnow on a ledger rig is a brilliant method on here. You don't know what you're going to catch next. I can't make up my mind at the moment. I mean, I'm not going to do live streams every day during the week, but I do like doing live streams. Is it better to do a live stream on a Friday night or a Sunday night? We just have to see. Friday night I tend to make the kids pizzas, so they'll all moan at me if I start going out on Friday night. I mean, I could make pizzas early and then start fishing at 6. That could be an out in the summer. That could be a good plan. So we could have Friday night's fishing night. Yeah, and by the way, I don't buy pizzas because I'm too tight. I hand make my own pizzas because they're healthier, aren't they? If you give my kids a chance, they'll turn around and say, "Oh, let's phone up a Domino's, or let's get an Uber Eats or a Deliveroo." But then 4 pizzas cost you 40 quid, and if you make them yourself, 4 pizzas cost a £5. Not a bite yet. I think how often should we cast in here? About once every 15 minutes is enough to empty a feeder, is it? Or because we've got a big lobworm on the hook, once every 20 minutes. In the summer you can get plagued with signal crayfish on this river. There's loads of them. It's a great bait to use actually, is when you're lure fishing. If you use a silicone shaped creature lure or crayfish shaped soft lure, they work really well. The only problem is that there's so much junk and rubbish in this river. The riverbed is not very clean, so it's really snaggy. You have to fish everything weedless, and then even then when you're fishing weedless you're still losing like leads and whatever, and even your weedless lures on all of the shopping trolleys and everything else, and bits of ironmongery and junk that everyone's thrown in. So sad really how people treat the environment. So I'm up to 2 viewers at the moment. I'm glad that I'm not talking to myself. There's 2 of you out there at the moment. Give me a like, and if you're not subscribed, I do proper fishing videos as well, so give me a like and a subscribe. Leave a comment, say hello to me now, can have a chat to you if you're watching at work or whatever at home. And tell me what fishing you do and where you go fishing. Yeah, I went live yesterday. When I went live yesterday I said I've got 584 subscribers. I really want to get to 600 in the month of February. And I came home and you sods out there, I'd got 583, someone had unsubscribed. Can't blame them really with my rubbish. Not had a bite yet. We've got time. We're making 26 casting, so we've got casting in 25. And we'll see how we got on. I mean, the feeds are emptied. I mean, with those pinkies in there, as they wriggle round, they'll help release the liquidised bread out. I love my fishing. It's the most relaxing thing. And I love all sorts of fishing as well. I love fly fishing, sea fishing, coarse fishing, predator fishing. So my friend Phil, he's nagging me to go sea fishing in Fleetwood with him fairly soon. I'm looking forward to the beginning of the trout season. I think that's 16th of March, so that's not far away now, 6 weeks off. And I'll get up on the small, like, urbany rivers around Manchester and catch some wild brownies. That's really, really good fun. Time I fly, obviously, because I'm fishing mad. Yeah, and then obviously where I'm based here, we've got the river, and then literally 50 yards in that direction, got a lovely lake called Drinkwater Park Lake, and that's got some really, really nice tension there. So a PB out of that lake, and it's a public park lake, it's £9, which is quite nice. And then behind me, there's a prison. But thankfully I'm always on the outside of the prison walls. There's a prison, but there's also a lake called the Prison Pond behind Forest Bank Prison. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time on there this summer because the club have stocked it and stocked it and stocked it. And no one ever fishes it, so it's interesting to see how those fish that are stocked will grow. Outdoor lifestyle, hello to you. Where am I located? I'm located right now on the River Irwell at Agecroft Bridge in Manchester. I'll write it down for you. And by the way, I really like your username because that's what I try and have as much as possible. Can't beat an outdoor lifestyle. I mean, I could be stuck in an office today, but instead, here I am, blue skies above me, fishing rod out, chatting to you guys. It's lovely. So yesterday I'm not going to do live streaming every day, but obviously I'm just trying it out because I've got a new GoPro. But yesterday on my live stream, which was the first one that I did properly with a GoPro, I've got a grand total of 9 viewers at one time, which is quite amazing. And today I think I'm up to 4 viewers at one time. It's not exactly Mr. Beast, is it? But I might have to do fishing tackle giveaways to entice more people to watch me while they're at work. Or instead of doing fishing tackle giveaways, I could just actually catch more fish to make it more interesting. But obviously that will happen as the weather warms up and we get into spring. Yesterday I hooked a pike. What an idiot. And I lost it, and it was my own fault because when I actually checked my hooks after the pike had got off, and I set the hooks. The hooks were blunt, all 3 of them on the set of trebles. And I was really annoyed because actually in my hand yesterday morning I had a fishing hook file. In trying my best, to file my hooks and keep them super sharp before we go fishing, because it does make a real big difference. And yesterday was a great example of me being lazy and not checking my tackle before I used it. We've got 1 minute and then we'll have another cast in and see how we do. I'm casting just towards that tree, about in the middle of the river, so about 50 yards across. You can see it's sandstone. I don't know if you can pick it up on the far bank, but it's a very steep sandstone cliff. And I don't know how deep the water is over there. I've never really tested it, but I should do, shouldn't I? Right then. Time wise, what are we on? 13:34. That'll do. So 25:2. Cool. Obviously, worm's still on. Oh, doing well. Still wriggling. Let's put some bait in this feeder. You can see I put liquidised bread in first, then a few little pinkies, a little bit more liquidised bread, put the cap down, and that's what it looks like. Jobs are good, eh? Get it cast in. There we go. Put the bait runner on, because you never know, do you? Hiya Sean, have I had anything yet? No, I haven't. I've been here now for half an hour. Third cast. Fishing with worm and on the feeder, with worm on the hook, liquidised bread and maggot in the feeder. Not had a rattle. But it was -3 last night here, temperature, freezing cold, and the fish aren't going to be that active. But I'm here till I pick up my daughter from school, and we'll see how we get on. Thanks for joining me, Sean. But you never know what you're going to get here, Sean. In the Irwell here, there's not a lot of small fish. Obviously in the summer you get a lot of minnows, but it gets polluted quite often. What you get is survivors, and the survivors tend to be big. So we've got a possibility of big chub, we've got some grayling, we've got roach and perch, we've got nice pike. They'll take a worm. There's carp. I don't expect to catch a river carp in the winter, that'd be a bit of a miracle. And obviously there's brown trout. It's not the season for brownies, but there's nothing I can do. It's a mixed fishery, and we'll just have to catch whatever comes along. You've given up on the Irwell. Oh, Sean, you never give up on the Irwell. Oh, I forgot to mention, there's a potential, isn't there? Because I was there when they were stocked. There's the potential of catching a barbel here as well, because they were, oh, was that a drop back or just something hit the line? That was the first bit of that tip action then. The tip bump backwards. Could have been the feeder rolling, as there's less bait in it. Could have been a fish attacking the feeder. Could have been anything. Leaves on the line. What else have I caught from the Irwell? I had some lovely pike, Sean, from the Irwell, up to about £15. I've had brownies to my PB7 on the Irwell, but I know there's a lot bigger. I've seen photos of fish of £13, £16, £10. There's lots of double figure brownies in here, absolute units. I've seen pictures of chub to £6.5, perch to £3. Silverfish, I've seen huge shoals of silvers, but it's been decimated by the cormorants. So it's difficult. Ah, Phil Lee's joined in. Hello, Phil. You know where I am. You must recognise that bridge, Phil. You can come and see me on your motorbike now you've retired, Phil Lee. Nice of you to join in. And if any of you out there aren't subscribers yet, get subscribing, thank you. I'm trying to get to 600. I'm on 583 at the moment. Maybe one day I'll get to 1,000 and Google or YouTube will actually give me some money for this rubbish. So Phil, how many motorbikes have you fixed now you've retired? If you're in the chat, come and tell me. Oh, Sean Wells said he's had giant bream up the ship canal. And he only had a small perch around the bridge between the ship canal and Irwell. Well, maybe in the spring I might go and fish down at Pomona. And again, there's some huge, as you say, Sean, huge bream down there. So the average probably about £7 to £8. And I think there's a guy called Gaz Lambert who's an England international fisherman, and he sometimes fishes down there, and he's had £200 bags from those swims at Pomona in autumn on the ship canal stroke Irwell. Sean's a long-term sufferer because he said he's a long-term subscriber. I know Mr. Phil Lee with his motorbikes, but he talks a good game on the fishing, but I've never seen any proof that he does it. Yeah, Sean, Bridgewater, absolutely chock-a-block with bream, and that somewhere else I'll go fishing in the summer. I really enjoy fishing the Trafford Arm that goes into town, down behind Man United and the Freightliner terminal. And where else do I fish on the Bridgewater? Oh, at Monton as well, at the lighthouse, if you know where Monton Lighthouse is. You can fish with maggot at like 6-7 metres and you'll catch some really nice roach. As soon as you put on caster or big lumps of bread flake and fish pellet on the deck, the bream move in, and again they're good for canal fish because they average about £2.5 to £3. You don't need too many fish to get a really good net full. Here we go. Have I seen the ghost carp? Yeah, the ghost carp that's in Media City used at the Salford Keys. That used to be the ghost carp that swam in the River Irwell. I think some of the locals used to put rods into the ship canal side, and every time they caught a carp from the ship canal, they'd hoik it over the road and put it into Salford Keys. There's probably more. To be fair, there's probably more than one. So if we're working on the 20 minutes of cast, the next cast, we've been in for 5 minutes, is going to be 5 to 2. So you've got to give it a chance at this time of the year. They're not exactly attacking the feeder, are they? We've had that little rattle. Which wasn't a bite, but I do love fishing worms, which is what I'm using now, because you haven't a clue what's going to come next. I'm just fishing angling direct medium dendrobinas. I'm too tight to buy lobworms. I don't think it makes a difference if a worm's going to have a worm. They don't care if it's an expensive lobworm or a cheaper dendrobina, do they? Well, Sean says he's not been fishing for a while because he's not had the transport, but I'll be honest with you, Sean, you're not in the winter. While it's nice to get out and have the lovely blue sky today, it's still got 2 coats on. It's still freezing cold. -3 last night, as I said, which is no fun, is it? So for years I've always had a nice cart, and I'm sort of semi-retired now. and I'm making a decision. Do I need to have a nice car? Because I currently drive a virtually brand new Volkswagen Passat Estate, which is my fishing wagon. But I'm thinking, the lease is up in April. I'm thinking about going and back to car auctions and getting myself a £500 diesel runaround. So I'm not having an EV. So I've got a decision to make before April what I'm going to do. I used to have a Renault Laguna Estate with a 1.5 diesel engine, which you think's really underpowered, but it wasn't, because it had this turbo fitted to it. But it was absolutely wonderful on fuel economy. If I was on the motorway, I'd get 65, just between 60 and 65 miles to the gallon. My current car on the motorway, I get about 40, 42, because it's a petrol Passat. But I'm thinking about buying an old Renault Megane 1.5 DCI, because again, it's the same engine that I had on my old Laguna, but it's a lighter car, so it's a smaller and lighter car, so it's probably get more fuel efficiency, because I am as tight as anything with money. What you got? Sean says winter is best for bigger pike. Yeah. Well, no, because I'm not sure that it is, to be honest with you, because pike feed all year round and they grow all year round. I mean, if you speak to pike specialists, they'll say, oh, you shouldn't fish for pike during summer months. But why? You say it's to do with oxygen content. Well, as long as you release the fish carefully and look after it, keep it in the net, and if you're on the river, point its head and gills upstream, or if you're on the lake, put it by the side of you and let it recover gently, they come to no harm. I think most fish suffer just through general bad mishandling, don't they? Some people are terrible. So what I really should have done, because I think if anybody who's watching, can you tell me, can you actually see the rod tip on this live stream? I think I need to change the rod to put some sort of day glow bands around that. The rod tip's white on this one. But it was alright if it was night fishing, because you can put a sea fishing night light on there, so you've got like one red one, one green one. Oh sorry, they're both green, but when you get a bite and the tip moves, the light changes colour, which is quite handy. So where are we up to now? 10 more minutes. We're halfway through this cast. I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to celebrate the fact that you joined me, and I'll put, because I normally wouldn't do, but I'll put a fresh worm on, just specially for you, seeing as though you're taking the time to watch. But you never know, do you? You could just be sitting here now, I could be chatting to you, and that rod can just go bam like that. You've got no idea where it's going to be. Fingers crossed it goes bam. More often than not, I tend to get drop back bites. But we'll just see. You've got yourself a mouse. You can try. Sean, I've got Savage Gear Rat, and I had loads of pike on it in Manchester, in the canals in Manchester, Salford Quays, Bridgewater Canal. Savage Gear Rat is brilliant. And I've got a pal, do you know Ant Glasgow? I think he's used that, was it called Dodo Duck Lure? It's like a duckling. And again, surface water, and that's pike smash that as well. In fact, just for a bit of fun, I think I might do that for my next live stream. We'll go rat fishing in Manchester. I was saying yesterday, Sean and Phil, if you're still watching, that if I'd have put on the title stream, my was dogging in Manchester, because loads of dogs around the park was there and I was fishing, and all the dogs kept on coming and annoying me and sniffing round the tackle. If I'd have changed the name of the live stream to Live Dogging Manchester, I would have got tens of thousands of people tuning in, I think. But unfortunately, live fishing, I've only got 9 people tuning in, and now I've only got 5. But I think if I went live ratting in Manchester, would I get more? Would I get more? Would it be entice more people to view? Because you've got yourself a mouse lure. I've got one of those Savage Gear rats. I'm going to go and find it in my tackle shed now. You've inspired me to get the rat out. I bet they smash them. But I do have some of those. Are your mouse lures those little plastic ones where it's got the 2 hooks underneath that look like that? And the fish, when the pike takes it, it clamps down on the plastic, on the sort of like rubbery plastic lure that's a bit tennis ball-y like, and it clamps down, and that's how it hooks then. It's like through pressure, so it's like a weedless mouse. Right, we're on 10 to 5 more minutes to go, and I can celebrate you being with me by actually changing the worm on the hook. If you can see any ripples out there beyond the rod, it's sadly not a fish. We've got a coot in the middle of the river. Because this is the first time I've ever finished this swim, and I've only come for an hour or 2. I've only brought 1 rod. But I think I am going to fish this swim more often. It's the nearest swim to my house. The next time I come, I'll obviously be, now it's not snaggy, or I know it's not snaggy. I'm still trying to find out what the bottom's like a little bit, what the depths are, etc. I mean, I know it'll be gravel because the Irwell's full of really big cobbly gravel, so it won't be really, it's not fine gravel. It's going to be big, cobbly, rocky style, fist size gravels. But I was worried that it was going to be really snaggy here. Obviously it's not. So the next time I come out, I'll put 2 rods out instead of 1, and then I'll swap every rod every 15 minutes and leave them out. Well, we can have 1 long and 1 across underneath that green tree, and another one right down there towards the bridge, and see how we get on. Rat would do well at Queensmere. Phil Lee, you're not wrong there. And we're up to 6 viewers. So Sean's told me he's a long-term subscriber. Phil Lee's a long-term subscriber. There's 4 other people out there. Are you subscribers? And if not, hit that subscribe button, please. I'm trying to get to 600 before the end of February. That's my target. 600 by the end of February. My 9-year-old and 12-year-old think it's hilarious every time I get a new subscriber. Because obviously they watch Mr. Beast and Ronaldo's YouTube channels where we've got billions of subscribers, or hundreds of millions. There we go, 4 minutes on the countdown now till 5:52, and then we'll have a reel in, fresh bait, and I'll cast back out towards that tree. The first cast I had was fairly short, because I'm just feeling my way through a new swim. The second cast was out into the middle of the river, and the third cast I'm going to bang it a bit harder. And I've got a feeling that there's going to be a channel round near that tree, because I can see that there's more faster movement on the surface water on that far bank than there is on the near bank. So I reckon there's a channel out there, but we'll find it. The last cast, I cast in and it took 5 seconds for the feeder to hit the deck. We'll count it again just to see if it's any deeper on the next cast. So as soon as we get that splash, count it down, because you can obviously watch the line going across the surface as the feeder's sinking. As soon as the line stops, you know the feeder's hit bottom. 7 viewers now. Hey, I'm breaking the internet, Phil. Sean, Phil, what's the sound like when I'm talking? I know it's probably okay when I turn my head like this and smile at the camera and you can hear me, but if I'm talking away, when my head's turned, can you still hear me properly? Oh gosh, we're up to 8 people viewing. It's a miracle. Oh, it's gone down to 7 now. I've never hit double figures. But I am enjoying it. What? It's hardly a cloud in the sky. It's lovely. It's hardly a cloud in the sky, and it appears as though there's hardly a fish in the river either. Here we go. Right, we're at that time now. Phil Lee says there's a deep channel about 3 metres from the far bank. Well, Phil, that's where we're going to cast now, pal. You tell me where. Oh, in a snag. I won't. Oh, and up it come. We're out of it. That's better. Feeder's empty, which is always good news. Right, first job, let's change the worm, which has seen better days now. Here we go, angling direct Dendrobenus. I always hook it round about the saddle with the worm. There's my scissors, and then I always snip off the tail, let a bit of juice out. Okay, right then. Feeder open. Pinkies. Again, angling direct specials. Bit more bread. Away we go. Right, Phil Lee, 3 metres from that tree is the requirement. Let's have a look. Ooh. Yeah, that's about 5 metres from the tree. Ooh, let's see how this one does. And I forgot to count it down. I said I was going to count it down, I forgot. How's that? That was not very clever. The sound's good, that's good news. But it lags a bit. Well, there's not a lot I can do about the lag, because that, unfortunately, that's the internet. It lags, so if I wave my hand now at the screen, we can we'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's about 15 seconds, isn't it? So Phil's happy with that. 2 gooseanders have just swum up or flown up past me. So what I'd really like to do is fish this swim for a fortnight and just pile a stack load of bait in here and let fish move slow, without a shadow, without move in and hit on it, because fish migrate up and down rivers quite long distances. I mean, if I've got a couple of, because I buy it by the sackful, I've got a couple of sacks of pellets, so I buy 20 kilos at a time of 5mm pellets now, because I use a lot. I might go buy a sack, I don't know, 10mm pellets, start banging them out and see how we get on. TGSUS has just subscribed, so I'm back up to, I think, 584 subscribers now. Treading water on my journey to 600. But actually, I've done a few tests recently, so I've got a proper video coming out on Friday night. Fishing feed episode. Come on now. I didn't bother with I've not bothered with. I went away on a holiday, as a few of you know. I went over Christmas and New Year, and I took some fishing tackle. But I was having such a good time with the wife and kids. Well, such a good time with the kids that sorry if you're watching. I just thought it'd be a bit mean if I disappeared and went off fishing, because they're not really that keen. So I didn't bother doing any fishing really, even though I took 2 fishing rods with me, bloody 8,000 miles away. Whoa, tip action. What's going on? Or is it just a bit of wind? Oh, come on. I think it's just a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit of breeze. It's just caught the wind and moved the tip. This isn't really a proper tip fishing rod. This is actually a drop shot, Shakespeare quality 7 drop shot rod. But when I'm travelling, it's easier to carry around and keep. Oh, Sean, brilliant. You went wading in the Medlock last year under the city centre. Again, that's something I'm thinking of doing. But getting access is quite difficult, isn't it? I'm not going to say it on YouTube where the access is, because we don't want everyone going there. But I think it involves putting a ladder in the back of my car. But it's something I'd be really interested in doing, because the Medlock has got some really fantastic trout. So maybe when the trout season opens, I'll get me my upstream nymphing kit, and away I go. Okay, I've still got 7 viewers. I've not broken the double figure mark yet. But I mean, let's face it, no disrespect to you guys, there's only the jobless, the work shy and the idle, isn't there, who's going to watch live fishing on a Thursday afternoon. It's too deep. Really? It depends. Can I ask you, Sean, did you go at it from the Manchester District Canal Irwell end, or did you go at it from the Piccadilly station end? Because if you go at it from Great Ancoat Street, Piccadilly, I reckon you can get quite a long way downstream. It's disgusting.
Yeah, well, hang on, look at this.
The Irwell's disgusting as well, Sean. Here's what I caught on the first cast. Look at that bit of Irwell salmon. Disgusting, isn't it? Oh, you got in at Mayfield Park, right? Got you. So I know where you mean now. So if you go downstream from Mayfield, it does get quite deep quite quickly, doesn't it? Officially, it's banned there. Ha, Phil Lee. Your missus. Oh, in your armchair watching me fishing, are you? Is that what your life has come to? Phil, just get out of your armchair, phone me up later on this evening, make an arrangement, come fishing together. You know me, I like a bit of company. Oh well, next cast is 1/4 past, isn't it? And we'll actually count it down this time. As I say, right in the middle, Phil, it's a 5-second drop. We'll see what it is under your tree. I lost the fish on drinkies yesterday, Phil. I had a pike, I was dead baiting for pike. And I lost the fish. It wasn't a huge one, but fish is a fish, isn't it? But I lost it. Blunt hooks. Absolute crime that of fishing, isn't it? One of the first rules of fishing is don't make sure you've got sharp hooks. Blunt hook on my trebles. So it took it, I counted to 3, the float slid off, counted to 3, struck into it, felt the fish, and in the front of the tail was the first put of the fight, and then the rig just pinged back at me. Fishless, rubbish. Ah, Chris the Red's joined. Hiya Chris, I know where you mean. On the opposite bank, you go over the wooden bridge and then there's some sandy pegs on the left. Now that's where I normally fish. And I will put I'll put a picture on Salford Friendly Anglers Facebook page this evening, because there's been a little bit of a landslip round there in the recent floods, and the landslip has like egg cupped out an area of the bank and it's all slid down. It's a fantastic new peg. Fantastic, it's flat, it's sandy, it's lovely, and as you say, it's got a lovely sandy bottom to run off onto. Catch some belting roach. Do you know what, the roach on the Irwell are few and far between now. Between the cormorants, the goose and the gooseanders, there's very few left. I mean, even in the city centre, I mean, the lads are still catching now in the city centre outside the Lowry, but nothing like the numbers of 20 years ago. Absolutely, you know, it's devastated, hasn't it? The live stream's been on now for, oh, I don't know, a while. And 1/4 I started. The GoPro battery lasts just over an hour, so eventually I'm not going to turn you off. The GoPro battery is going to just run out and the live stream will end. I have put it on the battery save. It's a new one, so I've never used a GoPro before, but I put it on battery saving mode. Oh no, that's the wind moving the tip. See, I can see the rod tip perfectly. I don't know how it comes out on your screen on YouTube. Phil says it's very unstable. It is, Phil, because it's a fresh landslip. You're right, it's really, really unstable. But that's about 200 metres upstream from where I'm fishing right now on the opposite bank. So I fished that area before quite a few times. We've had trout, chub and dace from there. The stick float. But I'm not stick float fishing at the moment because I smashed my Drennan trotting rod. It's a lovely 13, 15 foot Drennan tropic. It was a combo rod, so you could use it at 13, 15 foot. And it got a car door, so 200 quid fishing and little bits of carbon fibre. Oh, well, 6 minutes to go, and then we're casting again. And we'll get one, as Phil has requested, about 3 metres in front of that tree on the far bank. He reckons there's a channel. And I agree with him. From the side of the channel was really close, that's where the fastest water would be. The fastest water is actually where I am now, about 4 or 5 metres in, away from the far bank. You can see the circle. Oh, we're up to 8 viewers. My record's 9. I've still not broken double figures. As soon as I say that, people turn off. Don't blame them watching me blanking on the river Irwell. See, yeah, done it, happened again. As soon as I mention how many people are looking, people 6 now. A 25% hit just by mentioning how many people are watching. Here we go. The chimes of Salford. I'm sure you'll be able to hear the police car going past. They're always busy round here. Hello to Halty Salty. Greetings from North Carolina, USA. Good luck. I need the luck, mate. It's not something I'm blessed with. So, Mr. Halty Salty, you're watching a live fishing stream from Manchester in the UK, on the River Irwell. But you've got to be in it to win it. We're sitting here, it's a nice day. I'm sitting in an armchair, being pecked by my wife, like he is right now. Cashier will be giving, then he'll be saying, go and pick up your daughter from school. Whereas my wife's in Coventry at the moment. I sent her to Coventry. She's on a course and she's left me in charge. So those two. Fish spaghetti for the tea. How's that? That's an interesting combination, isn't it? Fish, they like it as well. My wife got one of those Hello Fresh boxes and it had a fish spaghetti recipe. And I never thought that they'd like it, but for some reason they love it. So we just had a little bit of an upstream wind develop now and it's sort of like making the rod tip move very slightly. So we're up to 8 viewers, let's see if we can get up to 10. But as soon as I say as you know, as soon as you mention how many viewers you've got, people turn off and leave. It's spiteful. If you go and make a cup of tea, don't turn me off, just leave it on. It helps. So, for those of you who actually do know me, I'm wearing glasses a little bit more often now. I'm getting old. I don't always wear them, but I've got about 6 pairs. I've got bifocals, readers, distance glasses, bloody nightmare, sunglasses, Polaroid sunglasses, all on my prescription. But it's a sign of old age, isn't it? I'm going to be 59 this year. God help me. But I've got a plan before I'm 60. I'm going to do something special before I'm 60. I'm having a lifestyle change. I'm not telling you what it is right now, because that's giving away. You never tell anybody too early. You don't want to give the game away in case it never happens. I've got a special plan. I'm going to have a big change in my life when I'm 60. I'm not getting divorced, but I'm going to do something. Before I get old and decrepit and snuff it and sitting in the armchair, I'm actually going to do something that I've always wanted to do. So it's not watch this space, because you've been there for a long time sitting watching, but 18 months time I'm going to have a big change. Oh, we're up to 10. Can you believe it? Double figures at long last. I've never had 10 viewers watching one of my live streams before. Well, for obvious reasons for those of you who are watching it. But fishing in a frock for when I'm 60. I know I've done that in the past, but right, quarter past. It's time to reel in and have a recast. There's no snag where you told me to cast though. There we go. Rig comes back nice and clean, there's no tangles, which is nice. I'm fishing it on a little bit of a helicopter rig. So there's life in that worm yet. We're on 8-pound hook length, 10-pound main line. Let's get some bread in here. Pack it in. A few pinkies. Pack them in. Bit more licky bread to cap it off. The birds will love me when I've gone, because there's loads of liquidised bread on the floor here. Right then, we've got 2 jobs to do. We're going to get it close to 3 or 4 metres away from Phil Lee's tree, and I want to count down how long it takes for it to the feeder to hit the bottom. Ooh. 5 seconds again. It's not that deep, Phil. I reckon we're on about maximum 5 feet depth. I'm sure there will be a deeper hole round here somewhere, because as the river opens out into a bowl, there will be some sort of like swirl. Fishing in a frock, and congratulations. Well, there's nothing to congratulate reaching 60 years old. I lock myself in a dark room and have a cry. Right then, next cast is just after 1/2 and then I don't expect the camera to last. I don't know, it might do, because I've changed the battery set. But no matter what, I'm going to be packing up. We're going to finish, no matter what, in half an hour, at 2:45, because I have to go and pick up darling daughter from primary school. and she expects me to be there on time because she's bossy like a mum, and I'll get in trouble from a 9-year-old girl. I'll get the acid tongue of a 9-year-old girl accusing me of neglecting her. Sean, well, you're 27. Phil Lee will know what I'm going to say. If I knew at 27 what I know now, life would be very different. Well, I could tell you all of those things, Sean, and you'd pay no attention to me and live your life anyway, which is quite right. Enjoy yourself. You've got a lot of fishing years ahead of you, Sean. Come on, fishies. Halty Salty. What's the name of that bridge? Road. Right. So Halty Salty. The name of the bridge is Agecroft Bridge. Well, sorry, it's Agecroft Road and it's Agecroft Bridge. And if you want to find where I am, if you look up Forest Bank Prison on Google Maps, you can have a search and find out where I am, because you'll see where it is. That's the place. You put Drinkwater Park in as well, that'll come up. But, it's a very nice bridge, isn't it? It's as well as a road bridge, Halty Salty, it carries the water supply for Manchester. So in the same way that Los Angeles and San Francisco get the water from the mountains, Manchester, the city where I am now, we get our water from our local mountains as well, and they pipe it. So that's the aqueduct. Oh, we're on 11 viewers. That's the most I've ever had. Oh, I feel humbled. Make sure you subscribe, people. Press the like button. Give me a subscribe, because I go fishing a lot, and my New Year's resolution this year was to do a lot more YouTube fishing rather than just fishing on my own, because I enjoy it. See, and the curse of mentioning how many people are watching has struck again. We've gone from 11 people viewing this down to 8. We'll make this cast shorter. We'll have another recast in 10 minutes at 2:30, and then that'll be the last cast. I'm going to pack up at 2:45. So I don't know what time it is in North Carolina, Mr. Halty Salty. It's the middle of the afternoon here in England. So my eldest son, a couple who use blue pallets, so you'll all know who I mean. The Blue Pallet Company. He buys the pallets. It's his buyer. But even though it's biteless, it's still been a very enjoyable afternoon. Yesterday, as I said, if you look at yesterday's live stream, about 56 minutes in, if you go and have a look at it, 56 minutes in, a hook of fish on my local lake, which is over there. Blunt hooks, idiot, fish got off. So it was a pike, probably about so big. Fisherman, that big. It wasn't, it was probably about 2 or 3 pounds in weight. And I used a small dead perch bait that I've frozen overnight. So even I'm getting fed up with not catching fish now and catching bites, and I'm thinking in my head, where do I know locally where I can catch plenty of fish that will be an interesting live stream? So I do have something in mind, but sadly it'll be on a commercial rather than a natural venue. I prefer natural venues. I like working from a mesh, figuring it out. I like thinking about rigs, where fish will be at certain times of the day or the year, and I like the challenge of natural venues far more than roll up to a lake that's surrounded by an otter fence with a car park and a cafe and sit and catch lots and lots of fish. It's great every now and again, but skill levels, I'm not so sure that I want to catch fish that are so desperate for food that they're competing for your bait even in winter. But every now and again I'll do it. I don't object. Everyone likes different things. Who am I to criticise everyone else? Fishing's a very personal thing, isn't it? I don't like being told what to do. I'm sure you don't either. We all fish in our own individual ways, isn't it? It's a sport that's all unique to each one of us. Each individual's got their own interest or unique way of doing it. And it's not my business to tell you what's right or wrong. Oh, Halty Salty, you're a great fella. It's 9:25 AM in North Carolina. He's at work, obviously working not very hard, and he's given me a subscribe. Well done, thank you very much. I shall reciprocate. I do tend to do that. Anybody who subs to my channel, I do tend to, especially if you actually make videos yourself and you go fishing, I do subscribe back, because I don't like what my wife watches on TV in the evening. So I tend to sit on my laptop and have my own viewing. So I've got another 5 minutes on this cast. It's 25 to. Drop another one in near Mr. Phil Lee's tree, the green tree opposite. We're about 5 metres away from that. Maybe a bit more. I'll put a bit more strength into the next cast. See what happens and see if it's shallower. I'll go as close to the tree as I dare. See what happens. But it's lovely, isn't it? When I get home tonight, I'm actually going to review the footage of this live stream, because I can see loads of jets up there going off in different directions, all of them going north, which is likely means that they're from Europe going to the United States is the most likely destination at that altitude, in that direction. So they're all flying northwest. They're up over the Atlantic, back down over Newfoundland, over New York. That's the way to the USA from where we are. There's no such thing. They follow the curvature of the Earth, don't they? I don't know what it's called, but it's got a special name, because if you fly straight across the globe it takes longer apparently. They've got an ellipse, and that's the correct word for it, an elliptical route. And the ellipse to North America from here takes you across Newfoundland and Canada. I think it goes just under Iceland, so they go north for quite a while, or what we think, and then drop back down again. Right, that's it for this cast. Let's have a reel in. Hopefully not snagged. No, nice and free. It's a nice clean bottom, which is good. The big looks to be still in tangle free, which is also good. Let's change the worm since its last cast. We'll give it one with a bit of life in it.
There's plenty still in there. That one will do.
Always hook it through the saddle, run a size 10 hook, single worm, snip the tail off the worm, let the juice out. Right then, and then we'll get some bait in this feeder. See, that's the liquidised bread, you can see that. There's loads on the floor for the birds when I finished. A few maggots dropping down on the floor as well, but and then a bit more bread to cap it off. I love liquidised bread. In fact, I love bread fishing anyway, because nearly all species of fish will take bread. It's very cheap. I don't have to drive to the fishing tackle shop constantly to resupply with bait. I'm lucky, because I go fishing a lot, I've got my own bait for it. I've got my own fishing room at home. Well, that's rubbish. It's nowhere near. It was bad casting, wasn't it? Wasn't concentrating. I just lobbed it in the middle. We're properly in the middle of the river now, so we'll see what happens. He wasn't paying attention, as always. It's like a school report. Michael must pay attention and try harder. It was the story of my youth. Less talking, pay attention, must try harder. I didn't really like school. Fishy Things, hiya, how are you doing? A new subscriber, thank you very much, Fishy Things. Where are you from? Oh, he says, hi, y'all. That means, I guess, you're from the USA. Hey, I hope you're making America great again. Well, we're in the last 15 minutes on the last cast. I've got to pick my daughter from school in 45 minutes. We might, actually, I tell a lie, we might stretch it. We might stay until 5 to 3, so 25 more minutes. So we might get one more cast in. Well, it depends, because I don't know how long the on going to last. Yesterday it lasted an hour and 40 minutes, so I don't actually know how long I've been live streaming for yet. You're from Wisconsin. Is the fishing any good in Wisconsin, or is it everything frozen at this time of the year? You don't have any control of America. Well, I don't have any control of the UK either. You hope it gets better. Well, I'll tell you what, I hope it gets better. Why would we want anywhere to get worse? I like America. I've had some really nice holidays. I've got some family, obviously being Irish descent, I've got lots of relatives living in the USA. I had a really nice holiday to California a few years ago. Went over to Los Angeles and stayed on West Hollywood Boulevard. We stayed. That was interesting to put it mildly. What else did we do? We went to Santa Monica, Venice Beach. We went to Palm Springs, which was good. We went into the desert. We went to, I can't remember some of the names of the places now. But it was a good holiday. We're only there like a week or so. But it was good fun. And one thing I found about, because I'd never been to the States before, it's the only time I've been. One thing I found out is that people are incredibly polite. That was one of my takeaways from spending my first holiday in the USA, is how polite the people were. Everyone's yes sir, yes ma'am. Manners were impeccable. Massive portions of food. You ordered a steak and chips, and so instead of in the UK you get like an 8-ounce steak. In America you get you get the whole cow on a plate with chips, or with fries as you say. I think I must have put on a pound in weight every single day I was there. Dawn Wild says, I'm jealous of Americans, they've got amazing fishing, and that is true. You do. We've got some amazing fishing as well, Sean, you just got to find it. Oh, hang on. Fishy things, we're getting a geography lesson about Wisconsin's borders are surrounded by the largest river in North America. Oh, right. Is that the Mississippi? So that's the third largest freshwater lake on Earth. Oh, it's like a quiz. I don't know what the third. Let's have a go with Lake Superior. Try that one. And the second largest freshwater lake, Lake Huron. I know there's 5 Great Lakes, isn't there? Erie, Superior, Huron, and now I'm struggling. Lake Ontario. Ah, that's one. I've got relatives in Ontario. My wife's got relatives in Ontario. We've never been to visit. So one of the things I'm going to do fairly soon, because I've only just recently bought this GoPro and the batteries are a bit rubbish, is I'm going to see how easy it is to plug myself into a external battery bank and see what that does for the length of time that I can live stream. You used to walk from Manchester to Middleton along the Rochdale Canal and you only caught one fish. Now that's a long walk. But you can do that, can't you? You can walk from Manchester along the Rochdale Canal, and then you come back. When you get to the train station at Mills Hill, you can jump on the train back to Victoria Station. That would be an interesting live stream, wouldn't it? Put the GoPro on my head and go lure fishing. So I do like lure fishing. Now I've caught some nice pike around Failsworth. I think there's an Asda at Failsworth on the Rochdale Canal in Manchester, and I have some really nice pike from there. There's a basin and then it runs off, goes under the main road. It's obviously going to be Oldham Road, and on the north side of Oldham Road it goes through an area of woodland and a field on the far bank, and in that area I've done very well for pike in the past. Yeah, the boat and horses. Yeah, I know what you mean, near Costco. The boat and horses, Sean. That's quite a good area for pike actually, especially in winter, because the roach shoals shoal up in that area. And you can stop to go to the loo, you can buy yourself some lunch there, you can get the bus back to Manchester from there as well if you want to pack up at the boat and horses. It's not a bad spot. Any signs of a fish yet? No, sadly. But while I was saying that, a parrot did fly overhead, so I've seen a parakeet, but no signs of a fish. But it's February and it's freezing cold. And then fishing, to be honest with you, as Sean knows, he said, was that a parrot? Yes, Sean, it is. If you go down to Drinkwater Park now, they've got these green and red ring-necked parakeets. So obviously someone's let go a pet bird in the wild and have started breeding. And if you go into South Manchester, I expect the ones that I know of, especially if you go to Whitworth Park opposite Manchester Royal Infirmary Hospital, the park there's absolutely chock-a-block full of parrots, or well, parakeets. A £50 pike, but I tell you what, fishy things, I bet you can, you know, if you've got the water that's got the size for fish to grow to that size. £50 pike is, for me, would just be the fish of a lifetime. Absolute dream. I could quit fishing happy in the knowledge that I'd caught a £50 pike. But that's a really impressive fish. So, the fish that I've caught that I'm the most proud of, a few years ago I went to Kenya and I caught a sailfish of about 120 pounds from the sea, and I absolutely loved it. And I went out on a day and everyone was catching tuna, and I've never caught a tuna in my life, and I wanted to catch a tuna, and I ended up catching, I caught 3 sailfish. The biggest one was about just around about 100. It took 2 of us to hold it. I think it,
500 push.
so I think it's my profile pic actually. If you have a look at my profile. Oh no, it's not. It's my profile pic on Facebook, not on YouTube. If you look me up and find me on Facebook, you can see a picture of it. TGS US had 3 trout of the Mersey on Tuesday, and at Springwater Park. You blanked, and a trout at Springwater Park in mid-January, yeah, and you blanked every other time you've been out fishing this year. Well, that's life, isn't it? The last time I went to Springwater Park was just before I went away at Christmas, and I had a couple of grayling from where the River Irwell and the confluence pool between the River Irwell and the River Roach. £200 sturgeon. Wow. So my wife and I have got like a holiday, we have decent holidays because we save up for them, and she's always wanted to go to Canada, British Columbia, so Vancouver and that area, and every time we start looking at booking holidays we end up booking somewhere else, and I fancy going there as well because I fancy having a Pacific salmon and sturgeon. I've never caught one. We always end up going somewhere else, and then wherever we end up going, I end up not going fishing. So I think the last big holiday we had, we went to South Africa a couple of weeks ago for Christmas.